Okay. All right, so stock opens now. We got Lewis in the chat. Hope blessings, brother. Hope you're good. Hope you're good as well, Lewis. Let's see what we can get. Let's see what we can get. Gold's in a very funny place today, guys. Can you guys hear me well? How's the audio? Let me see if I can get some music in the background. Let's get a little old show vibe going. Very clear audio. Amazing, amazing. Okay, cool. So, New York Stock Exchange opens here. Let me just look at the NASDAQ really quickly. 4 hour. Okay, so NASDAQ right now is bearish, guys. Okay. Cool. So sometimes, yeah, guys, when I am looking at gold, I look at NASDAQ as well to kind of see what's going on. Okay, sometimes NAS does move in a similar way to gold from time to time. So I tend to look at the stock market alongside gold sometimes. Yeah, there's just many variables that you can use to understand or gain a better gauge for where price is most likely to head to. But if we look at gold from the daily perspective, right? Just realized my video wasn't on. All right, if we look at gold here, guys, from the daily perspective, bear with me. If we look at gold, Lewis says very clear audio. Okay. Guys, what are you guys looking at for today? Is it all gold? And whilst you're in the chat right now, guys, let's get some likes on the live stream, yeah? Drop a like on the live stream. But let's get back into it. So for gold, right? So for those of you that don't know, this is the line chart, yeah? If you're on TradingView, you can just favorite it there, right? So the line chart only takes into account the the open and the close of the time frame that you're on. So if I'm on the 4 hour, it's only going to look at the 4 hour open and closure, right? It disregards the wicks, okay? And essentially sometimes the wicks are there to kind of create a bit of noise, right? To just make everything easier on the eye, I'm going to look at the daily time frame, okay? So the main picture we're working with is this weekly play here, right? This weekly play, we've had an all-time high, we've pulled back into this weekly candle, and we've rejected on the weekly time frame. Right, we've had a parabolic shift to the upside and back to the downside, and now we're kind of consolidating. Right, the only thing that I do like about this week is the fact that we've taken out last week's low. Okay, so the fact that we've taken out last week's low, I'm anticipating if this week's candle turns out bullish and we can get a closure, right, above any part of this candle's body, guys, I am 80% sure that the next week or the next coming weeks are going to be bullish to the upside, right? When we have market take out a low, right, and also the body of the candle closes above, right, the prior candle, there's usually a very high chance that it's going to continue in said direction. Okay, let me give you an example, right? I might not be able to find plenty examples on the weekly. Okay, cool. Look at this play here, right? This is a little gem, right? So look at this candle here. What did this candle do? It took out the prior week's candles low. If it takes out multiple lows, that's fine. But the main one that we're paying attention to is the one next to it, okay? We took out this weekly candle's low, and on the closure was above, right, the prior week's body, right? So once we had that candle printed there, can you see how the next week candle, we had a slight pullback, and then we had a continuation higher, right? You can apply this on multiple time frames, right? Let me see if I can find another one here. Okay, look at this one here, right? Let me zoom in so that you guys can see. Look at this candle here. What did this candle do? It took out the prior week's low, right? And then the closure of the body is above the prior. Notice how the next weekly candle or the next candles coming are highly likely to go in that direction. Okay, look, I'll give you the opposite way, yeah? Look at this bearish candle. What did we do? We took out the prior week's high, okay? And where's the closure of the body? Is below the open price. And what did the next coming week do? We had a slight pullback and a continuation lower, right? We only really extended lower in the week after that, right? So these types of candles, they don't happen often, but when they do, it's a really good indication of where market is going to go. So, you know, this week might just be a bit of a, you know, see comme ça, kind of chill week, and, you know, see if we can get something. But that's my main look for this week, what I'm looking out for. If we can get a nice closure, I'm sure that next week would be really, really good in terms of to the upside. Guys, if you like that little gem there, don't forget to leave a like on the stream, my people. Okay, so right now let's take a look at intraday. Yeah, so in terms of the intraday perspective, okay, if we look at gold, let me zoom out a little bit more. Right, if we look at gold, initially we had this play here, right? This play was indicative of higher prices, right? We did get higher prices ever so slightly. The body did close above ever so slightly, right? Then last week we were looking, well, I was looking at this imbalance here for a buy to continue higher, right? We did react from there, but we failed to make a new high. Then we pulled back down lower. Now, in terms of structure, right, if we're looking at this low to this high, we can get as many pullbacks as we want in this area, as long as the overall swing picture is still bullish, right? We have nothing to worry about. So essentially right now we've played into 50% Fibonacci retracement, right? We've played into it once here, twice here, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, and we're getting a bit of a reaction. And, you know, being completely frank here, guys, today or the next coming days, I mean, what day is it today? Thursday. Okay, today and tomorrow, I reckon maybe tomorrow we might get reversal Friday. We might get a reversal Friday tomorrow. Yeah, because if we look at last week's Friday, we had a nice reversal straight back to the upside. Was this a Friday as well? No, this was a Thursday, and Friday we had a continuation. Okay, cool. So essentially for today, I'm looking to see if we can actually get a move higher, right? This is very low probability conditions. I don't think this is, you know, ideal conditions for us to find something more concrete, right? But if we say, or if we look at potentially Tokyo's low holding, right? If Tokyo's low can hold, because we can see here there was a buy play here, right? Yesterday afternoon during New York Stock Exchange Open, there was a entry here to go long, right? I'm trying to see if this low will hold or not. If this low holds, then great, right? We can then look for a re-entry maybe above 49.97, right? If we can get something like this, right, we can look for an entry somewhere there and then see if we can ride for these highs here, right? That is kind of like the target, right? That's option A, right? So again, I'm working or using this framework from the premises of the weekly candle and the weekly candle potentially flipping bullish, right? That's the framework that I'm working with right now. That's been the framework from the start of the week. You know, at the start of the week I tried to envision what this weekly candle is going to print like and how it's going to close. Okay, so I understand where price is currently, right? So option B, right, is we get a play lower, right? We sweep new Tokyo sessions low in terms of the liquidity resting beneath there, right? Which is, to be honest, is a much higher probability move, right? If we actually take out this low here, sorry, this low here, if we can take out Tokyo's low, is much better for the play, right? If we take out this low, then we can look for a buy around this H4 candle, okay, and see if we can get a continuation from there higher, right? Gold at the moment is giving both buys, both sells, because we are in a little bit of a range, right? Just a little bit of a range, right? If I highlight this whole section, right, this is a little bit of a range, and if you compare this price action to all of this here, you can see that we are slowly making our way higher, or well, gold, it's been a while since I've seen gold have a period of bearishness, but you get the point, right? This is to be expected because we've had a period of movement, right? Bullish price action, bearish price action. We've had that parabolic shift to the upside and back to the downside. So having a period of reaccumulation, aka consolidation, is actually expected. I'm not, you know, entirely surprised what gold is doing right now at all. So now that we have our areas, our POIs that we're working with, okay. So for now, in terms of today, I'm more on the bullish side for gold, right? What's also good is we have taken out this high here on the DXY. Right, so I'm gonna see if DXY wants to actually flip. Right, if we can come for these lows, but we'll see how it goes. You know, this is why it's tricky, because the DXY is pushing up, right? Meanwhile, gold is pushing up, right? They're supposed to do the opposite of each other, you know, in regular market conditions. Guys, if you have any questions, put inside of the chat box, yeah? If you have any pairs that you want me to look at, I can also do that as well. Let's see what Nasdaq's doing. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream so far, don't forget to leave a like on the stream. So yeah, now that we have our points of interest, right? We have option A, option B, right? Obviously, option C is to try and short down here if this low is, you know, gonna get targeted, but yeah. So our main target for this session and the rest of today is London sessions high, and then we can look at maybe high of the week, right? Because this is the high of the weekly candle, and it's also Sunday's market open, right? We can look to target there after, but for now, let's just work with the smaller time frame movement. So what can I see so far? That looks really good, right? We have a lot of wicks, right? Rejections at this level, right? Market, right? We got a bit of a U shape forming, right? This at times can sometimes indicate that there's a slowdown of volatility, that market is losing steam in that direction that it's headed to. So I quite like seeing U shapes. I don't tend to like price, let's say for example, for argument's sake, coming down here and making a V shape and then reversing straight away. I'm not a fan of that, because V shapes, market can revisit the areas multiple times before it goes, but then eventually it still creates that sort of U shape. If this is confusing you guys, put it inside the chat box. But yeah, so it looks like option A is going to play out, guys, so far. Right, remember option A is if we can take out this high, we can then anticipate taking a buy, right? That was option A, if this low is going to hold. And guys, to be honest, you know how gold is, you know, gold will fly up. Oh my goodness. 300 pips, come all the way back down another 400 pips. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So right now I quite like this, right? We've had these lows here, this low here, this low here. We've had a very aggressive run on the 1 minute. We've had a reversal, and market is rallying, right? Back to the upside. Let me just mark out some areas that we can look at for a potential re-entry. Okay, so realistically, depending on where this high is, right, we can look to either use the Fibonacci, or we can have a little bit more of an aggressive entry, right? So far, in terms of the re-entry, right, what I do like is this area here, right? So again, this entry is dependent on the bases, right, that we do clear this high and we close above this high, right? Especially on the 5 minute, if we can get a nice candle closure above this high, right, and then get a pullback. So this is kind of option B, right? Obviously market is not going to move as smooth as this, but that's our first option. And then this is option A, right? So those are the two entries that we can work with for today. Okay. Now the risk to reward is quite nice on these, right? But just for argument's sake, we're just gonna keep it simple at 1 to 3. So SL for entry 1 is 60 pips. SL for entry 2 is also about 60 pips. Okay, so right now it is 2:51. Okay guys, another thing that you need to pay attention to is candles and when new candles open. So right now I'm looking at the 5-minute candle because a new 5-minute candle has been printed. The 15-minute candle is about to close soon as well, in 8 minutes. Half-hour candle is about to close in 8 minutes as well. Right, remember what I said to you about these types of candles, right, when they do print. Okay, I want to see if it can close above that high. If it does, brilliant. And then the next 30-minute candle that opens, we can look for a bit of a retracement and try and catch this long. Just like with any other strategy, you know, no strategy is 100% infallible. No strategy in the world is 100% accurate, you know what I mean? But this works very well. Okay, let's plot this move. I'm gonna take this one first. I know market is moving higher, right? I know it seems like, oh, we may have missed the move, but I would just chill, to be honest. Right, I walked you guys through the entry requirements, the reasons as to why we're taking certain positions, and why we're going to enter. Okay, so hopefully we can get a bit of a pullback and market doesn't travel too high. We got a chat. Cliff says, in terms of premium and discount, isn't price too high? It depends on what time frame you're looking at. What time frame are you looking at, Cliff? Are you looking on the daily? Are you looking on the 4-hour? Right, because essentially how I look at price or how I look at market is I look for movement, I look for volume, right? I look for a trend. I try to identify the direction of the day. Okay, and discount and premium can depend on whichever time frame you're looking at, right? So for example, if I look on the M1 here, right, and I do a swing, right, depending on where the high is, you know, yes, price could potentially be at a premium price, but it doesn't mean that the trade will not bang, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold out for these two prior positions. We also have another candle here that price can reject from, but I'm not really going to look at this one. Oof, this thing is not pulling back, boys and girls. I'm concerned about this candle here, right? This candle can ruin the whole game. What's Nasdaq doing? Nasdaq's pushing up. right? Do you guys see why I look at NASDAQ sometimes? I use NASDAQ kind of like an indicator, if you will, right? And I do trade NAS from time to time, you know, when the picture looks really clean, I'll look at it. I'm gonna set some alerts. All right, we'll try and do a stream for an hour, yeah, guys. See how that goes. We really do need price to pull back though, if we're gonna catch this. And it's not slowing down whatsoever. Right, if we really wanted to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of our entry, right, there was a buy entry right here. Right, this was an aggressive entry, but it's all good. You know, that's why I prefer to actually enter from here. There's a framework behind this candle being printed, so I prefer this entry, but we'll enter from here. And then if this hits stop, we'll enter from here. If that hits stop, then we're done. Guys, if you're in the stream right now and you're enjoying the stream, leave a like on the stream. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section. Cliff, still waiting for a response. If you're there, my bro. Do we have any more questions, guys? Okay, looks like we're gonna start pulling back now. Right, we're coming towards the closure of the hour. I would have preferred, right, if we didn't reach this candle, because now this candle now puts a new variable into the position we're trying to take. All right, if you guys understand sessions, right, this is the London session candle. Market can react from there. Okay, new hours here. I want to see us make a low of the hour and then the high of the hour somewhere around here. Okay, so a pull down is expected. Right, each and every candle will have a low and a high. Right, so especially when there's a new half hour, new hour, new 15-minute, right? Especially the hour 30 and the 15-minute. I always look for how that candle, or not look for, anticipate, should I say, how that candle is going to print. Okay, so right now, if I anticipate how this 15-minute is going to print, I want to see if we can either test this high here or test this candle's high here, right? Which means there's a decent chance that we might come down here. On the 30-minute, you know, we still have that structural high here. If we look over here, there's a good chance that we can get there. So let's see how this plays out. So just to give a little recap, the most ideal entry is this one here, because at least that's a 50% retracement, right? But we're gonna go for this one first, if we can get it. If we don't get it, then so be it. Where was the first M1 BOS long? Can you give me a price, Cliff? Where do you think there was a breaker structure? Can you give me a price? Are you saying 49.80, 49.86? I hope YouTube doesn't flag me up, you know. Okay, DXY. Okay. Yep, DXY is coming down. What is that? Is that gold? Or is that DXY? Yeah, it's gold. Okay, so this area can react and give us a buy, guys. Right? We got 1, 2, 3. These areas can all give us a reaction, unfortunately. Right? But if we follow our requirements, sometimes you might follow your requirements and you miss the move. So be it. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes the move is just going to go without you. So if it moves from here, that's about TP1 so far. Almost a T, that's TP2. Damn. If we push up from here, it'll be really unfortunate, guys. It's jumping. You see, so Cliff, 49.80 is around here. In terms of premium and discount, isn't price too high? No, I don't think 49.80, if you are looking from the M1 perspective, is too high, because if we look, okay, structurally speaking, this is very difficult, right? Because if we look at this high here, there's a break structure there first, right? We don't take out the low. This low remains intact, so that's our low. Swing low, swing high, right? Obviously, again, the wick does do a lot of damage, right? But the structure in terms of the line chart holds, and then we get a new high, then a pullback, then a continuation. So I wouldn't say it is too high, because at the same time, you have to understand, where is your POI, your entry, right? I don't know where your entry is, but when I looked at this, the entry was at this red line here. So anywhere pretty much inside of here or close to here would have been great. All right, this is already done about 100 pips. Damn. Yeah, it's done 100 pips. Hey guys, it is what it is. I'm still gonna be on the sideline though. Just because this is pushed up doesn't mean I should now like rush and get in, because gold can push up 100, come back down 300. Do you know what I mean? Look at that 5-minute candle. This 5-minute candle. Yeah, I'd like to see this come down. I think this will come down. Right, we got a doji candle. Right, after a nice full-bodied candle, we've got a doji candle, indecisive candle. Then we have another doji candle, but it's more bearish than the prior one. Right, this 5-minute, let's see if we can create a high of the 5-minute and then push down towards a little bit of this wick, if it can. If it doesn't, so be it. But that's what I'm looking at, guys, because I think we can come down to like 49.97. I think we can come down here, and if we do come down here, then we might as well take this entry from here. So what's the buyer position? TP1 and TP2 also. Okay, so for those of you on the stream, This is the SL, right, for the first move that I'm looking at. If you want to pre-plan it, you can. Right, for me, the most important thing you put in after entering a position is the SL. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm gonna take. So if you guys, you know, want to take the same thing, that's fine. Obviously, I have to give you guys the whole liabilities thing. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm doing. If you guys are open to doing the same, you are welcome to do so. Okay, so the 5-minute candle. Oh, that's the 3. So the 5-minute candle, we've had a pullback. It's dropping down. So you notice how I told you guys, gold will push up 100, come back down 100. You know, and gold will bang out of here and give us another reaction where it might give you another 50 pips. It might give you 80 pips. Right? I wouldn't be surprised. I think gold's got to pull back a little bit. Final TP is this one here, 5011.4. Right, that's the final TP. But if you know, a little something for you guys on the stream, the overall target is 50-20. Yeah, let's say 50-20. No, 50-21. Right, I think we can get a full pull for those highs. But just for argument's sake, we're only going to go for a 1 to 3 hour. So we have 2 minutes, about 2 minutes until the 5-minute candle closes. 2 more minutes to this 5-minute candle closes. So yeah, as I said, gold will push up 100, push down 100, pull back another 50 pips, maybe push down another 200 pips. So this is what I'm saying, guys. Once you see the money on the screen, take it. You know, don't just be chilling. Take it, because there's nothing saying you couldn't have taken this pull when price came back. You entered again, taking this pull here. Let me see. We've got another alert. What was that? DXY. DXY is dropping. Hey, okay. That definitely changes the narrative. Okay. So why do I say that changes it? This area might hold. If the dollar's going to continue being weak, this area might be the area for us to take a move from. Wow, dollar's really weak. Okay. Let's see, hourly, H4. Wow, look at that candle. Daily, hourly. Okay, cool. Okay, let me look at things from here. And let's see if the DXY wants to pull back. Right. If the DXY wants to pull back somewhere around here and then move lower, we've just taken out this low. So if the DXY can give, you know, the DXY doesn't have to do anything, I'm saying. It can literally continue dropping if it wants to, right? But if the DXY can pull back a little bit with a little bit of strength, this should push gold a little bit lower, right? Hopefully gold can come down into here rather than, you know, staying around this level. Let me see how the 5-minute candle closed. Eesh. My 5-minute candle's kind of ugly, guys. That 5-minute candle is kind of ugly. Alright, if this can pull up a little bit, let's check EU as well. Yeah, similar picture on EU. Yeah, DXY is pushing up. Guys, I don't want to jump the gun, but the more and more I look at this area and take into account the DXY, we might not get that play at the entry that we're looking for. Like, what do I want to do, or what am I thinking? Is to still hold for this entry. Imran says on MT4, do we use buy limit or buy stop to set it? What's the difference? So there's a video inside of the Discord, yeah. If you go to tutorials, right, there's a video in there explaining what the limit orders are, right? But for this one, you want to use a buy limit, right? Because a buy limit, you want price to head down to a certain level and then reverse. A buy stop, right, you want price to move down. Sorry, a buy stop, you want price to move up to a price level and continue moving up. Does that make sense? Yeah, this error might hold, you know. Let's see EU, because look at this for EU here. Oops. EU looks like it's got a good chance to push up from here. Yeah, EU looks pretty decent to push from there. Yeah. Yeah, DXY is turning around. I'm still gonna hold out for this level, guys. If we get it, great. If we don't, then so be it. But to be honest, we could have bought this like 1, 2, 3 times now. TP 1 and 2 would have been hit each time. Guys, if you're in the stream right now, you got any more questions, put inside the chat box. If you haven't liked the stream already, guys, drop a like on the stream. I'm not going to change my perspective just because this candle was printed. I'm still going to wait true for this area, right? If I'm wrong, then so be it. But we had our original areas. We had option A, option B. Sorry, this is option B, this is option A. DXY. Okay, we've had a little jump there on DXY. EU had a little drop there. Okay, let's see if that low will get taken. Right, so example, if a low gets taken, or if this low gets taken, we can look for the reverse. Right, we can look for the reverse lower if the low gets taken. So I'm going to set an alert for there. DXY, I'm going to set an alert for the high. See what the Nasdaq's doing. So Nasdaq's pulled back. Okay, Nasdaq's pulled back. Drop down, push up, drop down, push up, pull back. Okay. Imran says, I know you don't know who this is. What? Who's who, bro? Who's who? I don't understand. Imran. You got an alert. Gold's dropping. Okay, gold's dropping. Okay. Vel's friend from Dubai. Remember Wembley? Oof. I don't remember, bro. Apologies. If we've met personally, apologies, man. Can't remember. You know, you meet a lot of people, especially over in Dubai, boy. But regardless of not whether I remember you or not, yeah, my bro, happy to still see that you're still in the world, of trading. I hope you've been well, staying healthy, staying active. Guys, I'm gonna give this stream another 10 minutes. If we don't get price coming to the entry within 10 minutes, don't worry, I'm still gonna you know, have some alerts set. Once it hits, we can start moving. Ooh, guys, I can't lie, I like the look of this 15-minute, you know. Ooh, the half hour looks pretty good as well, guys. So look, we've tested that structural high there. This has every right to just shoot off. Even the 15-minute, we could get an engulfing 15-minute candle. Right, we could. This has every right to move off, even on the hourly. Let's see if we can get that entry. Oh, look at this 3-minute candle. This might start pushing, guys. Oh no, look at the DXY. Yeah. Look at EU. Yeah, this might start stepping. Never Talk says, is this trade you're looking at a buy stop? No, it's a limit. It's a buy limit. Well, if you want to do a limit, I prefer to market execute, but you can do a buy limit if you'd like. Guys, if you're in the stream, you're enjoying the stream, leave a like on the stream, guys. Don't forget to leave a like on the stream. Okay, whilst we're waiting for this play to come out, have we got any Arsenal fans in here? What's going on, fellas? Let's let's have some fun, you know. Any Arsenal people in here? Any Arsenal supporters? What's going on? Who do you guys support, by the way? I want to slowly get to know you guys' name. We got Imran, we got Cliff, we got Lewis, we got Never Talk. That 3-minute candle. This one that printed here, it's giving bullish. I'll be so real. But I'm gonna wait for this. What did I just set? TP. David said, what did I just set? I haven't set anything yet. I haven't taken any positions yet. Okay, for those of you that do want to take this from here, you know, you don't mind risking it, those are your entries. That's where I'll put the stop, 50 pips. Entry around 5,000. Your TP, your final TP can be 50.21, but then, you know, you can take TP1 around like 50 pips, TP2 around 100 pips. Right, you can take some partials as you go. Cliff supports Liverpool. Okay. You guys are having a little bit of a bounce back, aren't you? You guys haven't really been doing much this year. But I'm glad Wirtz is producing something right now, you know. He's a quality player. Bukayo Saka signs new long-term deal with Arsenal. Highest paid player now. Wow. Let me read this article. Extending his stay at the club until 2031. The club's highest paid player with wages reported exceeding 300k per week. My goodness. Negotiations over the extension had been underway for nearly a year. Saka's understood to have verbally agreed to the deal in January before now putting pen to paper. The 24-year-old signed a contract in 2023. Yeah, congratulations to him, man. Big up. Market's kind of stalling right now. We're just stalling. DXY is now back up again. Yeah, we're kind of stalling. You know, I would hate to have taken this position, gone in profit, hit break even, gone in profit, hit break even, gone in profit, hit break even. Held, you know, half of the drawdown, gone in profit, break even. Entered again, gone in profit, break even. Goog says Man City might just win the league. Yeah, they might. You know, Liverpool ain't got the minerals this year. You know, Chelsea ain't about. Aston. Who else is on the league table? Let me see. Let me check the table. Table. Aston Villa. I don't think they're title winning side. Chelsea's knocking about. But yeah, this looks like it's between City and Arsenal, you know. Yeah, we're stalling. We're stalling right now. Let me set some more alerts for EU. Let's see this 15-minute candle. Okay, 15-minute candle is about to close in 3 minutes. Yep, there you go. Is this gonna engulf? Yep. Okay. Let's make contingency plans, yeah? If this 15-minute candle engulfs and closes above this, wow. Yeah, buddy. Right. If we get a nice closure above the body of this candle, if we get a closure even above here, I would go on a lower time frame. I'd go on the lower time frame and look for a pullback to catch this higher. I might look at here, right? If we can get that move up and we get a retest, and then look to go long, because it doesn't look like this is gonna pull back low enough for us. You know, DXY is stalling. At one moment, it looks like it's gonna continue lower. I do think DXY is gonna continue lower though, but you know, we need to see that. So if the DXY continues lower, then gold should just continue pushing higher. Ah, this is unfortunate, man. I'm an Arsenal fan, by the way. Yeah, I can't lie. For you guys, yesterday was darkness. Yesterday was complete and utter darkness. Yeah, this is jumping. Okay, 15-minute candle is about to close in 1 minute. Yeah. We're actually really unlucky with this one today. We're really unlucky. Price just didn't want to pull back down low enough. And just didn't want to pull back down low enough. You see, so in terms of Cliff, this is why, especially when I look at things privately and personally, I don't always wait for market to come down to discount, because there's nothing telling us that price won't do something that it's just done now, which is play at a higher premium and then just move from there, right? Yes, you know, if you have your criteria, you want to follow your criteria to the T, but sometimes this is what happens, you know. As long as your risk, let's say you can stomach a loss here, you can take a trade here and it hits TP, then you would have made back the losses for there and some more with this one. Let's say it hits stop here, but then this entry hits full TP, which is here, you would have made back everything and then a little bit more, right? Because remember, with a 1 to 3 R trade, you only need 1 trade to win out of 3. Right? You can be right 33% of the time and still be profitable, but you can't be afraid of taking losses and, you know, turning off trading view after taking a loss, because tomorrow is a new day. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to, you know, completely burn yourself out so quickly. Anyways, market is played out unfortunately on the opposite end in terms of not getting an entry, because I did say we could test this area here and then push off. We've had that engulfing candle. This ain't coming back, guys. Well, it shouldn't come back. If it does, we'll take a trade. We watched the boxing match at Wembley and ate some restaurant. Remember, we didn't pay for the shit food, lol. A boxing match at Wembley? Do you mean the O2? A boxing match? This must have been years ago, bro, because I genuinely do not remember. Okay, guys, myself and the rest of TLN are gonna keep on looking out for re-entries. I'm gonna call the stream there. Really appreciate you guys for joining me. I hope you guys were able to grab some nuggets, to grab some understanding, some knowledge, or to learn something new. With that being said, I'm gonna end the stream there. and I'll see you all in Discord. Money day.